is for me to be standing here before this tremendous group of young Oklahoma leaders. I cannot tell you what a humbling experience it is for me to be your speaker today. When I was chosen as one of the honorees in 2012, I was floored. I'm not the kind of person who wins anything. So a few months ago, I was sitting in my office working on a project, and I received a phone call from my friend, Mary Malone. Now, I'm not sure how well some of you know Mary, but she's that friend who just oozes sophistication and grace and beauty. She's just cool. So we have this conversation, and she asked me about how my new job is going. And I asked her about her daughter, Madison, and how she's doing at Georgetown Law School. Then, very expectedly, for two mothers of beautiful only child daughters, the conversation evolves into how wonderful our girls are. At some point in our chat, she nonchalantly tells me that she had chosen me to keynote the Achievers Luncheon this year. Huh? I don't mind saying that shock doesn't begin to cover my reaction, Mary. So you see, I'm a person that's usually in the background. I've spent a career in politics working for people who dazzle in the sunlight, and I delight in adjusting the lights and polishing the finish to a perfect shine. I thrive behind the scenes, preparing the logistics, gathering the intel, solving problems, encouraging people around me, and assembling just the right team to execute the perfect play. For me, being asked to step out into the light, even for the briefest of moments, is terrifying. So as I began to think about what I could possibly say to inspire a room full of inspirational people, I reflected back on the last year of my life. The same phrase came to me during my morning runs when I made the drive from Ardmore to Oklahoma City, and those few quiet moments before I dropped off to sleep. It would come to me in my mind's eye, almost like a billboard, seeking your passion and being the transformation. For you to understand why this phrase might flash through my mind over and over and over again, I need to share just a few of the life changes I've experienced over the last year. Number one, my only child, my sweet love, my Sydney girl, she started kindergarten this year. So it signified that bittersweet knowledge that while she will always be my baby, she is much too quickly becoming an independent little lady. Number two, my father, who's lived with Parkinson's disease for 25 years, was diagnosed with Alzheimer's last summer. So this was just yet another blow to my family after watching the progression of one disease, only to be joined by another insidious vulture. My mother, who should be considered for sainthood, incidentally, suffered a terrible fall the previous year and continued to suffer from debilitating injuries. Now, this is the lady who is the heart and soul of our family. She exemplifies selflessness, love, and strength, and I'm in awe of her ability to soldier on every day. Number four, this is the good stuff. So number four, Governor Bill Anatubby offered me a tremendous opportunity to come work for the Chickasaw Nation as the Director of Governmental Affairs, a dream job for me. I would have the chance to work on political and policy issues affecting the Chickasaw people and Oklahomans as a whole, issues that I care about and that I'm passionate about. Number five, as a result of number four, I had to tell my friend, mentor, and boss, Congressman Tom Cole, that after 10 years, I'd be leaving Team Cole to begin a new professional adventure. The staff had become like family to me, and let's face it, Tom and I had become like an old married couple. We'd grown to be able to predict what the other would do or say in any given situation. I took comfort in that predictability and the mission we had to serving the people of the 4th District. And folks, if that wasn't enough, in the midst of this whirlwind of chaos that had taken over my life, I made the decision to tackle a personal demon that had haunted me for a majority of my adult life. Number 6, I was determined to lose 100 pounds, get my body fit, and change the course of the lupus that had threatened my ability to live without constant pain. Seeking your passion, being the transformation. So we decided mutually that the transition from Congressman Cole's office to the Chickasaw Nation would be about 3 months. So I had to get Tom through the summer, as close to the campaign as possible, and lead the staff through my final district work period. But I had some personal work to do. I felt a tremendous pressure both at home and professionally, and I knew I needed to find an outlet for that stress. I woke up on May 8th, 2012 on a mission. This weight was coming off, and it was going to take every bit of self-control, determination, and strength I could muster. I'd been down this road and failed countless times, but for some reason this was different. I was different. I had to be different. I was fighting for something much greater. I had to commit to being the transformation so my daughter could see me love myself enough that I was willing to work the solution. So, for the past year, I have been consistent about monitoring my calorie intake and have transformed my sedentary lifestyle into an active lifestyle. It finally clicked with me. If I didn't want to keep starting over, I was going to have to stop giving up. So I'm happy to report to you today that in just over 1 year, I've been successful in dropping 99 pounds. And thank you. An entire human being, I might add. Last year, I could barely walk a mile. This year, I walk 2 to 3 miles, walk and run 2 to 3 miles daily. Last year, I couldn't reach down to the floor without pain, honestly. This year, I do yoga several times a week without pain. This year, I'm not taking any lupus drugs to control my symptoms. Last year, I was taking eight prescriptions a day to control them. I have reinvented myself. I became passionate about making myself into the person I knew I could be. I'm a person who used to dread the thought of exercising, and now I'm someone who can't live without it. I'd finally conquered that voice inside my head that said, "You can't do this." And I proved it to be a liar. Seeking your passion, being the transformation. So I mentioned earlier that I like to assemble teams of people to execute the precision play. And I'll be honest, like is probably an understatement. I truly delight in putting people together to accomplish a common goal. Part of that joy comes from my interest in people and what makes them tick. So, as you can imagine, I read each of your individual biographies with great interest. I soaked in your accomplishments, your interests, the goals you've reached, and the thread that is common between you and me and all of the leaders that we're honoring here today is passion. Each of you has a true passion for the work that you do, and you're using that passion to transform industries, communities, lives, policy. You're transforming Oklahoma. Look around the room, folks. You're in the presence of people who are moving the needle in Oklahoma. People like Cornell Cross. When Cornell was in high school, he barely made it out with a 2.7 GPA because he struggled with dyslexia. He overcame that challenge and graduated from Oral Roberts University with a 4.0. He's now the Associate Director for the Oklahoma Center for the Advancement of Science and Technology, where he helps connect academics, businesses, and state agencies to collaborate on developing advancements in technology. People like my good friend, Amy Wiesen. Amy and her husband, Joel, are removing obstacles to providing affordable, energy-efficient, single-family houses in underserved rural communities in Oklahoma. And I can tell you personally, there isn't a community organization that this woman doesn't give her heart and soul to. She volunteers untold hours of her time to make Ardmore a great place to live and raise a family. People like Kimberly Garrett. She's the Victim Services Coordinator for the Oklahoma City Police Department, and she helped launch a new program in Oklahoma City that has expanded critical services to more than 1,000 victims of violent crime. People like Matt Pollock. Matt is the president of Stillwater National Bank and Trust at the young age of 33. He's been described by his colleagues as a leader, as someone who's diligent and shows the business acumen of a guy who's worked in his industry for a lifetime. People like Scott Biggs. Scott's currently serving his first term in the Oklahoma House of Representatives, and before that, he dedicated his life to seeking justice in the courts while serving as a county prosecutor. And finally, people like my good friend, Michelle Tilley Johnson. Michelle has walked the halls of Congress, serving on the staff of former U.S. Congressman Brad Carson. She worked tirelessly on legislation impacting the Oklahoma's notorious Tar Creek Superfund site. A small-town Oklahoma girl, Michelle has made a career out of advising politicians in both an official capacity and in their campaigns. An impressive group of Oklahomans, am I right? And these are just a few of the honorees and just a handful of their personal accomplishments. All of us live, work, and play in Oklahoma for a variety of reasons. But I'd be willing to bet the reason we have chosen to make our homes here is simple. We love Oklahoma, its people, and the opportunity it's provided us to achieve our goals. Each one of you play a vital role in securing a bright future for Oklahoma. We need your talents, your energy, your drive. We need your ability to seek your passion and continue to transform this state. You are the doers, the dreamers, the visionaries, the people that can inspire vision in others. We are recognizing you and your achievements today for a reason. You are a leader, an Oklahoma leader. This recognition, it isn't the end of the road for you. It's simply a brief respite in your journey. We expect a lot more great things from this group. As a tireless Girl Scout advocate, I would be remiss not to quote the founder, Juliette Gordon Lowe. She once said, and I love this, "The work of today is the history of tomorrow, and we are its makers." I want you all to take that message to heart. Go back to your communities with a renewed sense of passion so you can be the transformation. Now go make history. Thank you.